Today we're looking at 3 of the hottest watch releases of the last 2 years. If you're a fan of integrated steel, I always forget this bit. If you're a fan of integrated bracelet, steel, accessible sports watches, this is the video for you. We're putting head to head, first off, the Tissot PRX Powermatic 80, here in 40mm, the brand new Christopher Ward 12, here we have the titanium version, but for the purpose of this video, we're going to pretend it's in steel, and the brand new to the UK market, Citizen NJ015 Tsuyosa. Let's get into it. Starting at the most obvious point, the dial, there's no doubt that the 12 has the most unique and ornate dial here, featuring a beveled, labour-intensive 3-dimensional design which aligns seamlessly with their applied logo. The fume effect and polished dagger indexes only add to the drama. The PRX has a more simple, waffle-patterned design reminiscent of a certain iconic Genta watch from the 70s. No points for guessing which one. The simple baton hands, baton indexes, and framed date window add to the retro charm. The logo is also stamped with incredible precision on the dial when looked through a macro lens. The Citizen is a lot more simple, with a subtle sunray effect, a magnified date window, and dual battens at 6 o'clock. These details mean it's often touted as a budget alternative to the colourful Rolex Oyster Perpetuals, and it's easy to see why. The chunky lume-filled applied baton indexes mean that the Citizen offers the most readability in low light, followed closely by the 12. All 3 have some great colour options, with the yellow dialed Tsuyosa being a particular favourite of mine. Moving on to the case. This is where the watches share the most similarity. All 3 watches share a similar case shape with a tonneau or barrel base accentuated by facets on their bezel and edges. The Christopher Ward differs in the sense that it has a 2-tier bezel, one a circle and one a dodecagon. It's very reminiscent of the Girard-Perregaux Laureato or the Chapek Antarctique, with the 12 actually sharing the same designer as the latter. The 12 also features a crown guard, which adds more complexity to its angular sides and overall has a far more contemporary look. The Tsuyosa is far chunkier and less refined, with the finishing not quite matching the level of the other 2. The recessed crown looks great, but to operate it can be a little bit fiddly. The PRX is of course based on a 70s Tissot release, and as such has a much more slab-sided shape with large flat surfaces on top. The PRX and the 12 have a depth rating of 100 meters, while the Tsuyosa comes in at 50. The titanium 12 we have here operates the Sellita SW300, which is a chronometer certified movement. However, the steel version has the SW200. The SW200 has a power reserve of 38 hours, the smallest of the 3. However, it's accurate to ± 12 seconds a day and operates at 4 Hz. Inside the PRX is the Powermatic 80, with a generous power reserve of 80 hours, resonating at 3 Hz, and has a great accuracy of -2 + 8 seconds a day. The Citizen houses the Miyota 8210, which operates a 40-hour power reserve, resonates at 3 Hz, and operates approximately ± 20 seconds a day. Ultimately, all 3 of these movements are tried and tested and incredibly reliable, and while the 80-hour power reserve of the PRX may appeal to some people, the smooth sweep on the 4 Hz Sellita may appeal to others. Moving on to the bracelet, and this is where the Citizen is well and truly beaten. The Rolex President style bracelet is a little bit jarring with the integrated design of the Citizen, and it doesn't feel quite as well made as the Tissot PRX and the 12. The bracelets on the PRX and the 12 are incredibly good and just about as comfortable as any metal bracelet I've ever tried on. They also have a folding clasp, which when compared to the stamped metal clasp on the Citizen makes it no comparison. The 12 bracelet design actually reminds me a little bit of the Octo Finissimo, which is certainly no bad thing. The bracelet is also incredibly well tapered and it's ergonomically superb. 12 and the PRX also offer a quick change release system and come with rubber strap options. All of these watches are 40mm, however they all feel different sizes when on the wrist. The 12 wears the smallest thanks to its svelte tapered case shape, 9.95mm height and lug-to-lug of 44.5mm. The PRX actually has a slightly smaller lug-to-lug of 44.25mm, but thanks to its design, wears slightly larger. The Citizen definitely wears the largest of the 3, with a lug-to-lug of 45.5mm, and it's more suited to people with a bigger wrist. It overall has a less delicate design than the other 2 watches. Now, moving on to my opinion, I really enjoy all 3 of these watches. However, from a design standpoint, I personally prefer the PRX. Probably because it has this retro leaning design. It's obviously based on a watch from the 70s, and it is a little bit more reserved. The Christopher Ward undoubtedly feels incredibly special. It has these extra details, these extra layers to the design, and extra elements, which means it is likely to stand out no matter where you wear it. It's also incredibly wearable, and the price point, although it's obviously the most expensive, it still is really good value for the watch that you're getting. The Tsuyosa is probably my least favorite of the three. However, at £300, you're still getting an incredible watch. If money were no object, it probably wouldn't get a look in, but it does have some really good redeeming factors. It has some incredibly good legibility. It's got this really sort of simple design, and the color options on the dial mean that it's something that's really wearable for summer.
Let us know in the comments which is your favorite of the three, and subscribe to stay up to date with the latest watch news and reviews.